Hey guys, it's Bridget with Sowing Seed Company, and today I'm going to talk about direct sowing and the 8 things that are essential for your success when direct sowing seeds in warm season or cool season. Alright, so in a lot of our videos I talk about the one thing or the 2 things that are really important for you to be successful at a specific gardening task. Well, I can't do that with this one because there are 8 steps that you have to do to be a successful gardener when you're direct sowing. Alright, so if you watch this video, I'm going to help you take your direct sowing skills from like a 2, which is pretty bad, all the way to a 7 with these 8 essential steps. We know how frustrating it is for you to put a seed in the ground or sow a whole pack of something and go, wow, I wasted money and time and energy because nothing sprouted. Well, I'm going to help make that happen way less with these 8 essential steps. All right, so let's get into it. So number 1, you have to cultivate the soil. You can't just throw seeds on top of soil that has not been worked. You cultivate the soil for many reasons. 1, it is breaking up the top layer, the crust of the soil. It's also adding in oxygen, and it's going to make it easier to rehydrate your soil. If you break up that top layer of soil by cultivating, like cultivation, you're going to do so many benefits to your soil. So what do I mean by cultivation? Well, it can be anything. It can be a rake, it can be a hoe. You literally can just use your fingers to break up the soil. You have to break up the soil lightly. We're only talking the first couple of inches of the soil so that the soil particles can break apart, oxygen and moisture can get in, which is going to make it easier for your seeds to germinate. Now there's a reason why we put this at number 1, because number 2 is weeding. Well, they kind of go hand in hand, because when you're breaking up the soil, you're naturally going to weed. Now I could have combined these steps, but I kept them separate because I want to reiterate that you have to weed. If you leave in other plants, and you'll even see, I did it a little bit here. I left a couple little babies that I really think, well, this is a Gaillardia plant and it's gonna grow and look really happy. But in general, you have to be kind of heartless and take out everything that's in there, because larger plants are going to crowd out any of your seeding crops that you direct sow. So you really got to clear the area. All right, so number 3 is you have to make a furrow. You need to make a bed for your seeds to live in. There's a lot of different reasons why you want to do this. 1, when you have a furrow, all of the water that you're going to put down is really going to concentrate in that area, which is essential, especially in zone 9 and 10. If your seeds do not have contact with moisture while they're germinating, they'll start to germinate and then they'll shrivel up and die, and you'll never actually see them make it through the soil. So by making a furrow, a little bed, you can guarantee that the moisture is going to stay right in the area that you're going to plant your seeds. And also, most of you gardeners probably have drip. The nice thing about making a furrow with where your drip line is you're only going to be watering what you plant versus watering a bunch of weeds. Nobody wants to water plants that they don't intend on actually cultivating. So by doing this, I know that the water is going to drip right here where I want it. All right, so number 4, and probably the thing that most new gardeners mess up on, is watering, okay? You have to water thoroughly. And when I mean water, I mean I'm watering the day before, maybe 2 days before. Even though I'm running my irrigation, I am going to give supplemental water to my soil because I have to rehydrate it. If you have dry soil and you just run the irrigation a little bit, then the dry soil is going to suck any moisture that your irrigation put into the ground. So you can tell that the soil was moist before watering. I've been running the irrigation almost every single day before this video, and I'm going to water by filling in this furrow, and you'll see it makes a little puddle, and then I can wait and let it soak all the way through, and I might water 4, maybe even 5 times during this direct sowing process. Why are all my tools always gone? It's like this game I play of where are my tools? Okay, so number 5, I don't poke a hole and then put my seeds in there to die. I seed my seeds on top of the soil so I can see where I seeded them, and also so I know to cover them with finely sifted soil. You're going to seed directly on your irrigation line because, as I mentioned before, you have to have moisture for your seeds to germinate. So number 6, I'm going to cover with finely sifted soil. Now you can use sifted seed starting mix or potting mix. I actually just borrowed this from another part of the garden. It does need to be pretty good quality soil. You can't take this from the dry, dusty, terrible soil you have maybe on, you know, a weird side of your house. It should have moisture in it, and it should be sifted to the consistency of almost like flour. You don't want any big chunks in it. You don't want any particles, because you don't want anything to inhibit the germination of your seeds. Now I'm going to take this soil and I'm just going to cover my seeds. The beauty of this soil being so finely sifted is it doesn't have to be exact. I can even cover it with maybe a little too much soil and they'll still likely germinate because it's so light and fluffy. The key here is you don't want to see your seeds. If you can see the seeds, then you definitely haven't put enough soil down. Okay, number 7, you have to protect your babies, and that's by using Sluggo Plus after you seed to keep small insects like roly-polies and snails and slugs from chewing down your seeds as they're germinating. This product is an organic product. You can use it in gardens with children, with pets. You're basically just going to sow it on top of the soil so that as the seeds are germinating, they have a little bit of extra protection to get them to a stage of growth where they can fend themselves from any roly-polies, snail bugs, or anything like that. All right, the 8th step. Bear with me, I know it's been a lot of steps, but these will come naturally to you after you do them a few times. The last step is you have to cover your seeds with row cover. And the reason why we use row cover is because it's going to do several things. It's going to keep cats out of here, toddlers, squirrels, mice. It's also going to hold in some humidity, which is essential for germination of the seeds. And in general, it's just going to make for a quicker and more even germination of your seeds when you use row cover. Now you can use other things like burlap, you can even use a board, but what is great about using the row cover is you don't have to take it off the moment that they germinate. In fact, in other climates, a lot of people actually just leave this row cover on the whole time the plant is growing. And trust me, nothing is more fun than coming outside and peeking to see if your babies have sprouted. Hey guys, if you like this content, please subscribe to our channel. We put together really good content every single month to help you be a better gardener, and I would love it if you followed us and left comments on what you want to see so I can help you grow better. So I've told you the 8 essential steps to be successful when you are direct sowing. Now I've been doing this for a long time and it's like second nature for me, but still I gotta even look at the list at all 8 steps because it's a lot. So let's review them together. First, you have to cultivate, you have to weed, you gotta make a furrow, a little bed for your babies, you have to water, you seed on top of the soil, you cover with finely sifted soil, you use Sluggo Plus, and then you cover with row cover. It sounds like a lot, but if you do that every time, I promise your direct sowing seed skills will be exponentially better. All right, so you want to put these 8 steps into action. What should you be direct sowing? Well, right now in the cool season, you need to be direct sowing crops like your leafy greens, lettuces, all of your root crops like your carrots, your beets, and your radishes. And luckily for you, if you're in zone 9 and 10, we have a calendar that tells you exactly what to plant when, so you're never guessing. Now, if you head over to our website, we've got way more varieties than this, and it's very easy to shop by cool season, warm season, direct sown, transplant. We've got it all figured out for you, and you can pick up your seeds, your Sluggo Plus, and your row cover.